that's
in
going to
between.
come to a head at some point.
Now, I think it's good that you said some of that too, Alma, because not only can that be friends, but sometimes that can be family. I know
Family.
that in certain cultures, and when I say culture, I'm talking about race-wise now,
Right.
that the older women would tell you like, hey, don't you tell your husband everything that happened in X, Y, and Z. Like you said, that she money, you put you some money on the side just in case. Or you don't tell X, Y, and Z. And sometimes that was our grandparents. Because that's how they grew up. That's what they were taught. So they told us the same thing. So we're growing up like, yeah, I'm supposed to X, Y, and Z. And then when your spouse come into play, he just like, well, why are you having this on the side? Or why are you excluding me from this element? What are you doing? It almost feels like a tug of war for you because that advice was given from someone that you knew and trust. So that's innate in you. And so it feels like they're pulling a part of you. And you're just like, wait a minute now, what you doing? You rejecting me? And they're like, no, I'm objecting to the advice that you get because that's putting a wedge, as you said, between us. So Anthony, what advice would you give to men that says they think they're ready to get married and all this stuff like that? What advice would you give to them?
I really don't know what kind of advice to give them. Just agree with anything your fiance said. Just agree. And everything will go smooth.
Oh my God. So you saying happy wife, happy life.
Happy life.
Yep.
Lord have mercy. And look, and he don't even operate like that.
Yes,
I know. This is the funny part. So just like, this is interesting.
He's totally different. But Anthony is more of a I'll show you more than I can tell you. He's more of a he'll show the way. Like, just his everyday life, how he treats me and how he treats his kids. That kind of he rather show you versus how to tell you what to do. Now, if they call and say, look, man, I'm having an issue, then he'll give advice on the issue. But as far as you saying, well, I want to give you solid advice how to do this, he would rather show you by example than try to have to tell you.
And that's huge because there are people watching. Sometimes we assume that our life is just our own, but people are always watching how you engage and interact. And I am sure in your family and his family and just people in general, when they see your relationship, because anybody who know y'all a fun couple. They see that like, oh wow, this is something that I aspire to have, and that I can see that not only in front of people but even behind closed doors that they are the same people. They treat each other with respect, because you mentioned that earlier about having respect, which is something huge. A lot of course, we often know people say that women want love and men want respect. And sometimes though they can be synonymous to each other, but you guys produce that all the time. And so, your life, it can be the example that other people can look at and say like, wow, I may not ever speak to them or get advice from them word for word, but their lives, how they live and how they engage has already taught me so much. So that's pretty good. All right. Okay, so one of the other questions that I will ask, and then we'll probably swap to something else, is finances. We know finances is a huge component in marriage. How do you work together to make sure that you guys sort of remain on the same page as it relates to handling finances? Because they always tell you have one that's a spender and one that's a saver. How do you balance that out if you happen to be the saver? How do you balance out the spender? And if you're a spender, how do you balance out the saver? Because you need both.
You need both
because you need one to be like, come on, nigga. We good. We can go to the movies now. Come on now.
I think
how do you balance that out?
Well, for us, it's more
make sure the bills pay first and all that stuff.
Yeah, we kind of we always tackle. We tackle. That's the money goes in the pot, as they would say. And like he said, we tackle the bills first, and then at the end, when we tackled everything that needs to be tackled, then we'll say, okay, he doesn't care. Like Anthony don't care if I say I bought a pair of shoes or I bought some, but see, I will never say I went shopping and then call him and say, the phone bill still ain't paid. but I got shoes and an outfit. Like I would never do that because I know that his first priority is get the bills paid so we have one, a roof over our head, two, we have lights in the house, and we got food on the table, and everybody has what they need. So we always tackle all those things first, and then he doesn't really care. Like at the end of the day, you know, we save some, and then we get to a point where, okay, well, I bought shoes or I bought something or I bought something for him. It doesn't matter. Like he doesn't care about that kind of stuff. But when we're looking to accomplish something, like right now, you know, we're looking to redo some things in the house. So our goal now is to put money away every time we can, when we can, to make sure that thing gets tackled. So basically it becomes part of our to-do list.
And what I still hear from you guys is togetherness. It's not one person in one room figuring something out and coming out and telling the other person this is what we can do. You guys are sitting down together and bouncing it out. And I think that's huge because, especially as like a single woman, like I'm used to taking care of all X, Y, and Z. So I know that a concern could be for a potential mate is just like, you're used to handling all these things on your own. How are you going to be able to do it when we have to merge it together? And I think some singles have that mentality, and even when they get married, they still keep that mentality. My money goes to do this, your money goes to do that, then we'll just go on. And for some people that works.
People that works.
Function and flow the way they do. But I'm glad to hear that there are some that actually merge things together. And I know of some who merge together as well, and it functions and flows really well for them. So that's pretty good.